Good morning, traders. I am Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Tuesday, March 11th. We are coming off a sell-off to start the week after recession fears stoked a downward slide. Stocks suffered their worst session of the year, with the Nasdaq logging its worst day since September of 2022 yesterday during regular trading. The index sank 727 points, or 4%. The Dow tumbled 890 points, or more than 2%. The S&P 500 gave up 155 points, or 2.7%. Bill, let's get into Tuesday's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes, hi, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're trading a little higher. We're up 0.24%. That's positive, after, these slight gains are coming in after yesterday's big sell-off. But markets are not robust by any means. I mean, there's still concerns with the economic data. There's still concerns with the elevated premiums, which still exist in some of these tech stocks. And Trump's economic agenda and his messaging, it's going back and forth, and his tariff actions. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off. This is still unsettling to the markets. And, as proof, that the markets don't like this, that the market has a lack of confidence. Delta Airlines came out this morning, late yesterday, and they cut their Q1 guidance, and they indicated the reason why was a reduction in consumer and corporate confidence caused by macro uncertainty. That's what they say in their filings, and it's true. And then other airlines came out and they cut their guidance as well. You're seeing a lot of guidance cuts, and when you see that, you got to be a little cautious. I mean, we have had a string of downbeat economic readings, and Trump using the R word over the weekend. You don't do that. I mean, that's just negative for the markets, because that was never really entered into the discussion. But he used the R word, and you don't talk about recession if you're the president of the United States. I mean, you can't wave that flag. You got to be the champion for positive economic growth, and he wavered, and that is negative for the markets. But today Trump's going to be meeting with the CEOs of Cisco, JP Morgan, and Citibank. I mean, that could be a little change of temperament. Maybe it might change some of his, negativity that he's been spreading. Congress could vote on that continuing resolution bill today. It could pass the House. It's got a real uphill battle in the Senate. But they can't really afford to lose any votes. The Republicans have slim majorities. The Tea Party guys, all they got to do is start saying no, and then the Republicans have to rely on the Democrats for passage, and that's going to be tough to do. So that bill, the fund, they want to fund the bill through the fall, but I got to tell you, the issue here is that they may not have enough votes, and those Tea Party guys could really cause havoc. The government shutdown is scheduled for Friday afternoon, so we'll have to wait and see. Shares of ORCL and Dick's Sporting Goods, DKS, they're both moving lower after their earnings announcements. I see that this morning. Turning our attention over to Europe for a second to see what's happening overseas. For the most part, we're seeing mixed action. I mean, the DAX is up 0.22 or 48 points. We're seeing some gains in autos and construction stocks, which doesn't really surprise me after that spending bill that they started talking about last week. The FTSE's down 30 points, or 0.36%. The retail sales data, came in, showed it was slowing. France, the CAC down 19 points, or 0.24%. Not really great news. So you see that they all opened up a little higher, and now they're pulling back, and that's what I think we're going to see here in the U.S. markets as well today. But then we're turning our attention over to Asia, and the Nikkei. Listen, the Nikkei dropped 235 points, which isn't bad. That's 0.64%. The talk of recession, weakening economic data, that's really what caused the U.S. The Nikkei index to pull back a little bit. Hong Kong opened up lower, but finished flat. I mean, it was down 0.01%. So flat is good. In China, the Shanghai finished up 13 points or 0.42% with gains in consumer and defense stocks. So, Chinese leaders, have outlined ambitious plans to boost technology and innovation and increase spending to spur economic growth. So, that's positive. That two-session meeting just ended today. So we got to see what happens next in the Chinese markets. Citibank is very high on the Chinese markets, specifically Hong Kong and in the Shanghai markets. Oil's up over 1%. You got WTI at $66.78 cents a barrel. That's up 1.15%. Brent is trading $70.07 a barrel. That's up 1.15%. So, that's good. I mean, after the bell today, you get the API data. They're going to be releasing their stockpile estimates for the week ending March 7th. That could be interesting. That's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update, Emily.
Bill, given the fact that you're following all of this information, as some of us are really trying to get our bearings after yesterday's sell-off, you're feeling confident and poised to take opportunities when you see them today because you have all of this information and data at your fingertips. We're going to get through some details here throughout the show. We will start with earnings action. Bill, give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to earnings.
Okay, last night we had an earnings report from Oracle, ticker ORCL. They missed by 2 cents. They did on lower revenue. The report was not horrible. There were some highlights in it. And the stock did rally afterwards. I mean, it was trading, like over 150. But then, late in the session, it fell apart. This morning the stock is down 4.75%. Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker DKS, David Kilo Sam, they beat by 11 cents and they did it on higher revenue. That stock's down 4.75%. And Kohl's, KSS, Kilo Sam, they beat by 22 cents this morning when they released. And they did it on higher, they met on revenue, which is good. But the stock's down 15.27% this morning. Yeah, just their outlook negative. Outlook is very negative for Kohl's. So that's really a shame. And then after the bell today, we get Casey General Stores, ticker CASY, Charlie Apple Sam Yellow. The EPS is $1.83. Expected move is 8.65%. This is a tough one to trade because it's not very volatile. I mean, wide spreads. Not a whole lot of people will be trading it, but Casey General Stores is set for a big move when they release earnings today after the bell, Emily.
Bill, you're keeping track of those earnings reports using your earnings alert, and you're also keeping track of economic events. And we've pointed out, keeping track of these details becomes important as we're trying to navigate these tricky waters when it comes to the health of the economy and what policymakers will be doing moving forward. So let's get into the economic events of the day. Bill, what is going on there?
Okay, we get two economic events happening today. You get the JOLTS report, the job openings. That's at 10 a.m., half hour after the market opens. Then at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, we get the API stockpile estimates. This JOLTS report, if you remember remember this is a lagging one because this is the number that's coming out today is for January. The December report showed job openings fell by 556,000, which was the second lowest reading since January of 2021. So this is ahead of tomorrow's inflation report. So I'm cautious on this JOLTS report. I wouldn't be. I mean, I hope we don't see a big negative number again. It's possible. But the market's going to be paying attention to it because it's this is just another one of these indicators that is not showing positive results when they release. So I'm cautious on it. But that's what I have for you in terms of economic data coming out for today, Emily.
Again, watching for that information using your NewsWare. You have an economic alert set up. You're gathering all these reports day in and day out. And on top of those earnings reports and economic events, you are still gathering other types of news, information, and data. You're looking at things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news. You're also grouping your stocks together, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks, tracking trends on the trading day. So, Bill, what else do you see as possibly moving the markets today?
Doing a quick data check. I got 18 Dow stocks higher. I got 12 lower. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. I'm seeing some weakness in Google and Apple. Netflix is also flat to lower, but you don't see this positive bull. You see tentative cautiousness. You'll see a little nervousness in the markets this morning. But the markets are slightly higher, so that is a good thing. You're looking at some of the news behind the tape, like Apple. Apple's working on a major overhaul for its products on its operating system. This is a big one. This is this goes from everything from the iPad to the iPhone and whatnot. Major operating system upgrade. Then you got Google. They got that issue with the Department of Justice, and an April decision is really expected on the government case to break up Google. I mean, I think it's going to be hard for them to do, but the Department of Justice isn't taking their foot off the acceleration pedal. That's for sure. Meta Platforms, they begin testing of AI training chip that they developed with TSMC. Or Taiwan Semiconductor, excuse me. Tesla, Elon Musk is blaming an outage that occurred on Twitter on a massive cyber attack. Okay, maybe. Let's talk Dow Jones 30 stocks. Let's talk Goldman. Banks are cautiously higher this morning. However, private equity deals, which are exposed to really, show, a big uptick, in the first quarter, they've really come off to a slow start. I haven't seen any big deals come across the tape yet. NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, they're the company that they're backing, CoreWeave, which is pre-IPO, by the way. They just signed a $12 billion agreement with OpenAI, and I found that interesting. In terms of merger news, Bristol Myers, BMY, they're going to be acquiring 2seventy Bio TVST for $5 a share. Let's talk guidance news. Oracle, ORCL, they see Q4 adjusted. They see Q4 EPS coming in $1.62 to $1.66. Street estimates $1.78. Downtick. Delta Airlines, they lowered their Q1 EPS view to 30 cents to 50 cents. Prior to that, it was 70 cents to $1. Big downtick. American Airlines, they cut their Q1 EPS view to negative 80 cents to negative 60 cents. Street estimate has it at negative 29 cents. It's big downtick. AT&T, they adjusted their Q1 EPS to approximately 48 cents. Street estimate has it at 53 cents, so I can't call that positive. Then there's Kohl's, ticker KSS, Kilo Sam Sam. They see 2025 comparable stores sales down 4 to down 6%, and they cut their dividend. That's why Kohl's, ticker KSS, seeing the weakness of, down 13.69% this morning. In terms of shareholder events going on, there's we continue to see a bunch of sell-side conferences, JPM Industrial Conference, Barclays Healthcare Conference, Citi's having a retail conference. These are all going on today. In terms of buyback news, Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker DKS, David Kalo Sam, they did announce a $3 billion stock repurchasing plan. And Fever, ticker FVRR, Frank, Victor, Richard, their board announced an additional $100 million to their share repurchasing program, Emily. But that's really what I'm seeing in terms of news hitting the tape this morning.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, no matter the sentiment, you're looking for opportunities day in and day out. So what is your pick of the day today?
I wouldn't. I'm going to go with NVIDIA, NVDA, Nancy Victor, David Apple. I mean, the stock's fallen sharply, but I don't think it's going to go back to that 140 level tomorrow. I don't think it's going to go back to that 120 level tomorrow. I don't think it's going to go back to 115 anytime soon. But I do think that we're going to see some positive action in the stock today. I mean, yesterday's call volume 2.3 million versus 1.2 million. The open interest 11.4 million versus 10.7 million. All positive. Major brokers still like the stock. They still continue to have buy ratings on it, and price targets are very elevated compared to where the stock price is at. And they don't seem to be changing them, and their channel checks all seem to be doing good. But I think the fact that CoreWeaver is having their IPO coming up. I think it could be next week. And that they signed a deal with OpenAI. There's some attention that's going to be focused on this stock. I mean, but the key thing is, where do you get in? I mean, obviously, I want to get in with the price tag of 105. If it falls to 104.90, I'll be buying. But 105 is kind of my target price for the stock, and I think we can easily make a gain there. But that's my pick of the day, NVIDIA at 105, Emily.
Looking for some volatility there in NVIDIA and that discount, and hoping for a gain there. We will follow NVIDIA along with you today. And coming up, before we sign off, we will do a recap on yesterday's pick of the day to see how that one worked out. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
Okay, we're talking HCAT, Henry Charlie Apple Tom, Health Catalyst. They announced a 5 million share repurchase. 3M says this quarter, a bit unusual, seen elevated level of competitive intensity. 3M's trading a little higher. 3M's down $2 this morning, 1.36%. Verizon falling during the Deutsche Bank Telecom conference. Dell Technologies CEO said yesterday we had a productive discussion with President Donald Trump. Okay. JetBlue said it faced greater disruption from cold and choppy demand from consumers to start the year, resulting in revenue below expectations for the first quarter. Tesla's stock's trading a little higher. Trump says he's buying one and he defends Elon Musk. It's positive. Yeah, the stock will open up higher. We'll trade a little higher, but there's still a lot of negativity around it. Still a lot of negativity in the market. Southwest says it's accelerating its 2.5 billion share buyback program. That's positive for the stock, actually. NVO, Novo Nordisk. Shares are, under pressure yesterday as their weight loss drug, for when in its phase 3 study failed to kind of like top the results that are seen from Lilly Zepbound. So, they weakened back down to under $80. Pretty cheap for the stock, though. Alibaba has this business-to-business search engine that reached 1 million users in 5 months from its launch. It's okay. It's nothing special. Oracle gave strong long-term growth outlook as AI cloud demand soars. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he plans to visit a Boeing factory in Washington on Thursday to ensure that the U.S. plane maker is maintaining the highest level of safety. That's a puff piece. Walt Disney, a California federal judge, said on Monday that the company's hit film Moana did not infringe on an artist's copyrights related to his planned animated movie about a teenage hero in ancient Polynesia. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we sign off and trade this Tuesday, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day, which was Applied Materials. I did catch an article this morning that Bernstein analysts suggested in a note that now may be a rare opportunity to buy some high-quality stocks at a discount. They did name AMAT as one of them, along with others like your pick of the day today, NVIDIA, Netflix, Microsoft, Lululemon. You did make this pick yesterday following that news that Applied Materials raised their dividend by 15%, and they also boosted their stock buyback by $10 billion. You were looking to take advantage of some volatility here. Bill, yesterday was sort of a disaster of a day, as many people know, but you were looking for opportunity. Did you find it? How did your call work out?
It worked out well. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at 152.42. I mean, then it initially fell. It fell down to like 151 before running to 154.45. Now, we were saying, 152 is our entry price. So, running from 152 all the way up to 154, that easily beats the 1% goal. Yeah, the stock fell after that, but we were trading the momentum into the morning because we felt that that news of the buyback was so big that it was really going to cause momentum in the stock price. But on the other front, we did have this worrisome of this tidal wave of downbeat economic of price action going against us. But were we able to make that gain of 1% yesterday morning? Absolutely, it was there. So AMAT, Apple Michael Apple Tom was a winner yesterday, Emily.
You're able to do it again, even in that downward sea of red. And we will check in with you tomorrow about today's NVIDIA pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.